Hey YouTube, what's up? So yeah, put on my blonde, my blondie, and I felt like making a video because I haven't made one in a long time. I was, I got a lot of venting I want to do. I don't go to the shrinks anymore. Mm. So in some of my videos, I said that I just this is my shrink. YouTube is my shrink. I don't go to the shrinks anymore. And I want to talk about that. I'm gonna talk about my history of shrinkology, and I just have a lot of things I want to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and there's some really cool stuff that people put on YouTube. I mean, I watch reviews; those are cool. And I tried to do some of those, and then I watch, motivational speakers, and those are okay. I mean, sometimes you relate to like what people are saying about life or people or whatever, deep shit, and it's like you're like, yeah, yeah, I feel that, I feel that, but then I guess some people want you to, you know feel better about a certain situation, whether you lost or whether you won or whether you know, I don't know, progressed in some way. They feel like you should be ecstatic about it somehow. You know, oh, you broke up with somebody? Well, congratulations. Oh, you're getting married? Well, congratulations. It doesn't matter what the scenario is. They'll just be like, congratulations. And I'm kind of getting to that. Like when someone tries to diss you or make you feel like shit too. They'll be like, "Oh, no, dude, that girl's not into you," or that guy just really didn't care if about you at all. They'll say something nasty like that, and you'll just be thinking about it. You're like, hmm, and I got this answer now. Like, no matter what anybody says, I'm just like, thank God. That's my answer. I'm like, thank God. If someone dumped me, thank God. If someone dissed me, thank God. No matter what it is. But even though, and I'm sincere. I mean, I really am. Like, thank God. Thank God for anything. Because if they're nasty, I see their true colors. Thank God. If they dumped me, they weren't worthy. So I say, thank God. Whatever the scenario is. I really sincerely feel the thank God part. But here's the but. Even though I sincerely feel the thank God part, it's not like you're jumping for joy. You know what I mean? You don't you can sincerely go, that was good for me. God was right. God, is with me. I mean, that was good for me. But even when something's good for you, it's not like this joyous, ecstatic occasion. You're not like, yeah, I got dissed. Woohoo! Or, yeah, you know, uh, they treated me like shit. Woohoo! Or, yeah, I got dumped and, treated like I was meaningless. Woohoo! Exciting. It's not like a jumping for joy, kind of thing. I mean, you get wisdom, but it's not joy. Wisdom is not joy. It's different. And I think my depression, because it always ends up looping back, oh, the bipolar, the pendulum bipolar. Oh, manic one night I can't sleep. Oh, a couple nights later I'm down in the dumps. And I was on medication. I mean, I was on medication for almost 30 years. People would be like, you know, from the year 2001 to the year 2023, That's 22 years right there, from 2001 to 2023. That's 22 years. People be asking me, like, how do you just, you know, how are you so nonchalant, and how do you just deal with all the crazy shit that you deal with? Because, I call myself crazy. People call you crazy. You know how crazy everything is. And you just go about da 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 da, nonchalant. Well, I mean, it's like one person even asked me that, like that John Lennon question, like, how do you sleep at night? Well, from 2001 until 21, for 20 years, yeah, it was definitely 20 years, I was on medication. 20 years of psych meds. Yeah, all kinds. That's how because I didn't know how to deal with the voices. I mean, the voices would drive me, they still bother me, but I've been off medication for the past 4 years. I don't take psych meds anymore. 4 years I've been off the medications. I mean, I went to the mental hospital in 2023. I was not on medications except for when I was in the mental hospital, and I was in the mental hospital in 2023 3 times. So when I was in the hospital, I was on medication, and I guess I needed it. Really, I felt like I was just exhausted, like exhausted. And I don't think people really know what exhausted is. They think that if they have to go to sleep and they just, need a nap, or passed out, that they're exhausted, or if their body's achy, they're exhausted. No, 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 no. Exhausted is like not your typical "I'm tired" feeling. It is this kind of debilitating, paralyzing feeling where just getting out of the bed or getting out of the chair feels like you're lifting a fucking semi truck. That's what exhausted is. It is just crippling. And it's tied to depression, in my opinion, because the times where it has happened to me the most intensely was accompanied with severe depression. And yeah, so sometimes I had to go to the nut house. Sometimes it was for a temper tantrum. Sometimes it was for um, that debilitating depression. And I would, I would take the meds. You can't go there and not take the meds. I mean, whether you're Baker acted or whether you go voluntarily, you have to take the meds while you're there, because that's how they do it. So I took the meds. I took those meds from 2001 to 2021. 20 fucking years I took those fucking meds. And then in 23, the 3 times I was in the hospital, I took the meds. But I did, as soon as I got out of the hospital, I stopped taking the meds. And I don't feel guilty about it. I discovered for myself what led me to the hospital. I've discovered for myself in the past 4 years off of the meds, I've discovered for myself different ways to deal with the highs and lows that I go through, different ways to not end up in the hospital. And it's hard. Like, I mean, in 2020, I was in the hospital, and 2021, the whole year of 2021, I was not in the hospital. And and then the whole year of 2022, I was not in the hospital. I went 2 years. And I think that was really, really good, because I really wasn't on meds those 2 years. Not really. That was really good. And then in 23, I chose to push myself in some severe ways. It's like addiction. It's like, it wasn't drugs. I wasn't addicted to drugs, but I got addicted to road trips. I know. Weird, right? I didn't even have that much money, but I had this really great vehicle, and I just wanted to go everywhere. And I was literally pushing myself like a lunatic to drive like these long distant road trips all by myself with hardly any money, pushing myself, pushing me and the vehicle to extremes that were not sensible, were not balanced or sensible. I was like an addict. I just couldn't get enough of it. And then I would be completely spent and completely exhausted. And I had basically abused me and the car, the vehicle, to because I had done these extreme trips. And then I would end up in the hospital. And I had to take the medication again because just to somehow get stable. And I don't like going to the hospital. I don't. I don't like going to the hospital for anything anymore. I really don't. I don't like going to the hospital to ask for psychological help. I don't like going to the hospital to ask for biological help. I don't like doctors. I don't like the shrinks. I don't like the medical doctors. I don't like them. I'm not going to go off on some tangent and rag the shit out of them, but I have a very low, very, very, very low opinion of them. Very low. And I don't respect them. I don't trust them, and it's sad. It's sad because I spent 20 years of my life on medication, trusting these so-called authorities and these so-called experts, and they didn't give a fuck about me. I mean, they make money on my sickness. They don't make money on my health. That's the truth about the medical system. I mean, if you get well, they're out. They don't want to see you get well. 20 years I was on those medications. If they were so good at healing people, I wouldn't have needed to be on that for 20 years. I wouldn't have been in the hospital 20 plus times. They're not good at healing people. You have to heal yourself. And I knew that. I just didn't know how. But I'm learning. I've spent the last 4 years learning how to heal myself. I'm not better. I'm not. I'm still crazy. I know I am. I have bipolar. I have multiple personality disorder. I have mood swings. Um, I have violent outbursts, and I know that when I feel it coming on, I have to get away from people and like basically throw myself in some kind of funny room. Like I make my own sort of padded cell to deal with my temper tantrums because I know that I can't be around people when I have one of them. But I've learned my own ways to deal with my crazy instead of dialing 911 and getting Baker acted and shit like that. And I'm not suicidal anymore, so that was an accomplishment. I had been suicidal. I wasn't really. I mean, I've met some people who really had some some scars that caused them to constantly hurt themselves, cut themselves, burn themselves, and they look like masochists. They weren't really masochists. It's a very deep uh, issue, and I've had some of it, but not as severe as some of the people I've seen. I have cut and burned myself a few times. It's not what most people think it is. They think we're masochists. It's not masochism. It's it's a reaction to numbness. It's a reaction to a desensitized feeling that we're not comfortable with. We want to feel alive, and when we feel dead, I mean, on the inside and outside, that's usually what causes the cutting and the burning fiasco. It's not masochism. We don't like pain. We just don't like feeling numb and dead. We don't want to be desensitized. And it happens. It is so freaking hard to get through life these days with the horrors on television and entertainment, with the way that people are, their wickedness and their evil ways every freaking day. There's no safe place. I wrote that poem. I wrote that poem when I was in college. I wrote that poem in 1998. No safe place. And I didn't know how fucking true it was. There is no safe place. You're not safe at church. You're not safe at the grocery store. You're not safe on the highway. You're not even safe at home. There is no safe place. And the more you try to isolate yourself, the more you feel attacked, because just as you find some kind of peace and stability, and you're like, fine, I'll just cancel myself out of society. I'm not a socialist anymore. I'm not social. I don't want all those disturbances. I don't want to see the violence. I don't want to see the hatred. I don't want to feel it. I just want to get back to me, the me that I was before this fucked up world fucked me up too. And it just seems like the more you pull away, the more it comes at you. And this is, it's in the Bible. But what's really cool about getting off of the medication and and healing myself, what's really cool about it is it's getting me closer and closer to God. Like, I read the Bible, I was reading the Bible yesterday, and I don't even read the Bible because I'm just like, I know what Jesus said. That's always been my attitude. I was raised Catholic, so I really didn't want to put my nose back in the Bible, especially some of the church people I've met. Oh God. I mean, sometimes you talk to these church people, and I'm like, if you're representing God, I feel sorry that you're God's representation. Like, you're just awful. You make people want to worship the devil. They're just so awful. And anyway, but I put my nose back in the Bible, as I was pulling away from society. And it's like, dang, there were a lot of things that I'm noticing now that I never saw, never realized it was right there. Things that I was thinking, and things that I was witnessing, and things that I was, saying, this is screwed up. But God said it already. I mean, today, or it was yesterday or today, I read it in the Bible. It says right in the Bible, we're all stupid. My mother said that my whole life, and I was like, Mom, come on, don't say that. Don't say we're all stupid. That we can't be all. I wanted to be a teacher. I didn't want to believe that people were stupid. It says it right in the Bible. It's absolutely 100% true. We're all stupid. Isn't that horrible? It's bleak, but I believe it 100%. Not just because it's in the Bible, but because my mother said it. I experienced it, and it's right there. It's right there in the Bible. We're all stupid. Yeah, it's sad. I get depressed still. I get depressed, but I'm okay now. I was really pissed off a few years ago. I think it was, as I was coming off the psych meds and deciding that I was going to try to heal myself. I'm not healed. I still have the issues. It's not like healing yourself from psychological issues is not what people think. It's not like, oh, well, now you're not bipolar, or, oh, well, now you're not, dealing with multiple personality, or, oh, now you don't hear the voices. No, it's not like that at all. It's just coping. All healing is learning how to cope with the problems without another 20 freaking years on medication. That's what healing is. It's learning how to cope with it. I still hear the voices. I hear the voices every day. You know what I do now instead of take the fucking pills? I talk to them. Yeah. Oh, the clock is talking to me. Oh my God, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I need pills. I need pills. The clock is talking to me. No, now I talk to the clock. What do you want to say to me? 12:05 what? I just talk to him. I talk right back to it. I know it sounds crazy. The clock's not talking to you. That's not rational. Okay, it's not rational. I'm crazy. But I don't want to take some fucking pills to pretend that I'm normal, because I'm not. I'd rather just deal with my crazy head on, my way, instead of taking 20 years of fucking pills that never changed the crazy anyway. All it did was have me lose a fucking gallbladder and get scars from so many fucking needles that had to knock my ass out. I can knock myself out. I've learned how. Tequila and 3 sleeping pills. Knock myself right out. I don't need your big fucking needle. Anyway, I'm going to take a break because it's been a while since I vented. And obviously, you can see that the subject is a sore subject, but I am learning how to cope with my own issues without the frickin' bottle of psych meds.